Everyone, Real Estate Ninja here. Hope you're doing well. People can no longer afford a myriad of things, and your friends and family are not telling you that their credit card balances are going up. I believe many people around the nation are being very quiet and very silent when it comes to the quiet desperation that they're living in as they watch their monthly income come in as it's not growing because they don't have extra work. They're not getting significant raises, if any at all. And they're watching their bills pile up, deadlines be extended, or they're surpassing their deadlines. They're behind in their payments. And they're watching the actual bills rise in price. Everything from water to electricity, watching auto insurance, home insurance, groceries rise in price. They're becoming more and more desperate. Now, I'm going to share a couple of points, and I read just a small Reddit thread, and it's entitled, How Are We Supposed to Afford Anything Anymore? It says, all I've been reading these past few days is how prices for food and everything in general have been rising. Do people think that the prices for these things are going to go down at some point, or will we have to get used to this new normal? Couple of comments were we're going to see more people living in multi-generational homes, for more people living in a roommate situation with more than one roommate in a home. It's getting to the point where even with a good salary, you can't support yourself alone. The one person says it's brutal, and and this is coming to someone who earns a good salary. The other day, someone says, I was thinking of ways I could offset my grocery bill by trading with local producers. Then I had an epiphany. I'm a six-figure earner trying to puzzle out how to use the barter system to offset my outrageous food costs. I never, in my wildest imagination, thought it would be like this in the United States. Do you feel like that? Type yes or no. A six-figure earner never thought that this was going to happen. 3 years ago, I started warning people on social media about this coming inflation wave and showing people how to get ready. Today, I'm going to show you some things that you could do right now to get ready. Because just like that person said, I never thought it would happen, which means he or she never prepared for this. And you still have a little bit of time to prepare. I know it sounds crazy, but you do. Now, before I start, I'm going to say there's 2 days left of the Mortgage Pro course and the Mortgage Master course and the Mortgage Master 2.0 Investor Series course. After some time on Monday, it's gone. It's never going to be that price again. And that course is going to prepare you. But I'm going to start giving you information out of that course right now for free because I always do that. All my information's free, but if they want it in a concise course, figure out how to get something done and get ready for this wave. Because just like this comment said, a six-figure earner can't make it, which means if that six-figure earner misses one or two payments, they're going to be out during this next real estate crash. And that is exactly what makes a real estate crash, that the masses aren't able to qualify to borrow, even though the banks want to lend you money, but they have to lend under stricter guidelines during very hard economic times, where during great economic times, like the roaring 20s, they can throw money at you, just like the buildup in the 2000s. Interesting that they have the 20 in that number too. They're able to just print money and give it to anyone, anyone with a pulse. Even some animals got a mortgage. We came to find out, and that's been happening in the last few years. Massive amounts of money have been printed and given to everybody. It's a trap, and so the reason why there's a real estate crisis and it's already begun is because lending gets very restrictive and harder to obtain money to buy real estate. So prices fall because people still need to sell their homes or they become desperate to sell their homes. They're about to do that in the next 6 months. So if you want that link, it's down below. It's like 83% off. It'll never be that price again. 2 days left. So we've run over some Reddit posts, right? Do me a favor, type one thing that you have sort of been blown away by. And I have been preparing for this inflation wave for 12 years now, just so you know. It was actually foretold a long time ago in certain economic cycles. It's very easy to see this. But type one thing that you've been blown away by that's went up. You're like, that really? It's going up. So credit card delinquencies are rising. Here's what to do if you're at risk. That story just came out yesterday. This is happening. Delinquencies of 90 days past due are rising, which means all those people are knocked out of being able to get prime borrowing rates and terms in real estate as the real estate prices collapse. I was a real estate investor, sold most of my homes in all of them, sorry, in 2005, 2006. I sold like 90% of my portfolio. I kept 3 properties, right? Now, when I did that, the reason why homes are falling is because nobody qualified was one. And even if you qualified, most people were afraid to buy a house because they kept seeing prices falling. This is going to happen all across the nation. Here's another story. Maxed out. This is out of CNET. Inside America's credit card debt crisis and what we do next. It says consumers are collectively 1.12 trillion in credit card debt. Interviews with both everyday borrowers and experts reveal a complex web of policy, psychology, and profit. And that's exactly what I want all of you to do. I want you to profit from this because there's no stopping it. The reason why there's no stopping this next collapse is because 99% of the public are running headfirst into it, just like on Reddit, where that 6-figure earner said, I had no idea this would happen in the United States, but we have a currency crisis, a currency collapse. That is the mother of all crashes. You witnessed in 2008 a housing cycle collapse. In 2000, you witnessed a stock bubble collapse. A currency collapse is the most dangerous and scary collapse there is because it takes everything off the table. It completely decimates everything because everything's priced in that currency that is subsequently collapsing. All right. Check this story out. This headline: Consumer Checkup. U.S. bank auto loan delinquencies reached decade-long high in 2023. So we know that data, right? And remember, that data was based off of the decade-long high because the last time we saw auto delinquencies this bad was 2013, as people were coming out of the Great Recession and they'd had to stop paying their payments on their cars because so many people had lost their jobs. It didn't all happen in 2008. It was this long wave. And that's why I tell you, you have time to prepare. Okay. You have a little bit of time, but it's becoming more and more difficult to prepare because you're having to keep up with these payments that are rising. All right. Now, so let's talk about some things you can do. First off, you need to cut every little excess expenditure out of your life. And one of those easy ways is to go on your phone and see how many apps you've got running that you're paying for. There, so many people sign up for something a long time ago and it just goes out of their minds. As a matter of fact, there's 2 that I'm deleting this week. All right, that's going to free up a little bit more cash. Number 2 thing that you can do is you need to identify the things that you just don't need in your life anymore. One of those things are eating out and let's say drinking alcohol or any of your vices. You can eliminate that right now. The third thing is going to blow your mind because a lot of people don't want to do it, but I find a really crazy, cool joy in this. I know it's going to sound crazy, but starting to enjoy going to garage sales. Why? We all have a need for new things or something exciting in our life, right? And so usually that comes in the form of a new car or going shopping. I taught my children really young, when they really, really wanted something, I said, I promise I'm going to teach you something amazing. It took quite some time to get this through their mind. When they're about to go save up and they were going to buy something, let's say it was a car stereo or it was a board game, anything they ever wanted, I said, if you will wait 6 months, you will take the money and save and wait for 6 months, like a video game system or anything, we're going to go find it at a garage sale and we're going to pay 10 cents on the dollar for it. And so many times, and you know how I really knocked this into their head, was there was a couple things they really wanted. I didn't care about it. And it's my kids. Right? I'm like, oh, not my thing. But I tried to teach them and they went and bought a brand new one. And I found 2 items, one for each child, at a garage sale later. I went and bought it. I put it in front of them. I said, look, I just got one just like you. And they're like, how much did you pay for it? And I told them, and it was like 10 cents on the dollar. And the look on their face, like I'm ever going to use this thing, was just like, oh. And I'm like, thanks. Now I have this much money left over. I'm going to go buy more stuff. And it really rocked their head, rocked their mind. And this is the time to be doing that kind of stuff and enjoy garage sales and maybe even flip some money, right? I know it sounds crazy, but I bought my first house flipping electric trains that I never played with. I never messed with. I flipped electric trains and made $20,000 in 6 months in garage sales, selling them on eBay. There's still people out there. And this is another thing. During the Great Recession, I was still selling a ton of tractors. I was buying them from people losing their homes. So they would sell their tractors because they were moving from their 10-acre parcel or their 1-acre parcel to an apartment because they lost their home. So they couldn't keep a tractor. There was no need to have a tractor. I would buy it and I would sell it to somebody that had money that did still have a job. During the Great Depression, the unemployment rate was 25%. It's like the highest we've ever seen in our country's history. But you know what that means? Everyone focuses on the 25% of people that don't have jobs. I focus on the 75% of people that do have jobs. There were more millionaires made during those times than any time before. Um, this is the time to hunker down, but then also this is the time, instead of going out to dinner with your friends, why not buy a financial book and read it? I, I'm just being honest. I just set up my library, and when I say it's not very fancy, it's three bookshelves or two bookshelves, and two seats and a little lamp. But it's a quiet place for me to go and study, for me to go and read and to focus and to hunker down. And in that reading area, that quiet time that I have, which it's hard to find, but you know how I find it? I don't watch TV. So now I'm like, okay, instead of TV, I'm going to read, and then I dream and I contemplate. The thing is, like that comment that was made on Reddit where he says, "Here, I'm trying to figure all this stuff out, and then I have an epiphany. I'm a six-figure earner trying to figure out how to make ends meet. I never thought this would happen." Well, it's because he had an epiphany because he's never pondered the opposite of his life. When you start to ponder how bad your life could be, and you really start to like live in that and go, "Wow, this could be me if I'm not ready." You're going to start getting ready, because the thought of actually living a life where you're missing your bills, and maybe there's some people here missing bills. And if you are, let me know down in the comment section. I want people to be honest, because once you're honest with yourself, you got a basis of understanding, and then you could build from there, right? If you're missing bills, say, "Hey, I'm missing bills." Or if you're not missing bills, say, "I'm not missing any bills right now," or maybe I'm close. But say it, and everyone needs to be respectful, obviously, to everybody, because we've all been there. I've been there before. I know what it's like to be having a hard time making ends meet, because I put myself in a situation that I shouldn't have, but it also defined who I am today, and it built character, right? There's nothing better. I'm going to be honest with you. There is nothing better than someone that comes to me, because I know it's like you built your finances up a certain way, you found some hard times, and then you dug yourself out of the mire and you went, "Never again. Never again will I put myself in that." Those are the people I want to hang out with. The people go, "I've never had problems. I've been perfect all the time." You're in it. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it, because every single person's had problems. Every single person has had stresses. And if you haven't, well, then maybe you had a silver spoon in your mouth and you're going to get smacked upside the head with reality someday. There's always that one person out there that wants to be cocky, like we all care. The fact of the matter is, most of us have had hard times financially. We've had to dig ourselves out, and then we're the only ones that could really hold our head up high inside and go, "I'm proud of you." When talking to yourself, I've had to say it to myself too. "I'm proud of you, Travis. You did you took the hard road. You dealt with your own issue. You didn't go beg your parents for money or your friends for money. You didn't go try and borrow your way out of it. You went and dug yourself out of that hole and you did it." So those are some things that you could do right now to prepare for this. Now, this is the most important thing I want you to understand, because my goal is to buy 100 homes. I know that sounds crazy to some people. And to other people, it's like, why only 100 homes? I'm going to buy 100 homes during this real estate collapse. And I'm going to do it on YouTube. And hopefully I've brought enough people over the last 3 years to do it with me, because I don't want to be like, "Look at me." I want to lead a charge, a revolution when it comes to taking advantage of an economic downturn. Okay. So type 5 if you're with me. You're like, "I want to take advantage of an economic downturn." I'm going to try and help as many people as possible, but you can't help everyone. Not everyone's going to do the hard work it takes to be successful, to be wealthy, to be financially independent. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show people how to pay those off really fast during this economic collapse. And then you're going to be able to sell them to people and hold the note. And you are going to officially become your own bank. Okay? You are going to become a bank, and 90% of that payment is going to come in the form of interest that you never have to give to anyone. All right. And at the same time, you're going to help people get into homes that couldn't, trust me, you're going to be helping people and becoming wealthy. Okay. That's the charge I want to lead. So it's like I see it right now. I could taste it and it's exciting. So little people understand it's coming. Now, you want to be in the mindset that you're trying to become a prime borrower. That anytime, no matter how bad it gets, the banks are crashing, the Federal Reserve is freaking out and printing tons of money, everybody's losing their homes, all this kind of stuff. You're going to walk into a bank and they're going to give you money. And it's very hard for people to understand that. Banks will still lend money in those kind of situations, but they do. I've lived through two of those cycles where everything's going to crap and banks still lend you money because they have to lend money to stay alive. They have to make money from other people's money. And so you need to be constantly looking at your credit score, building that up. And if that means, getting a small credit card and putting some stuff on it every month and paying it off every month so you're not paying a dime in interest, then that's one way of doing it. If it means getting your debt to equity or debt to income ratios good by paying off specific debts, if you've got 5 debt items, 3 different credit cards, a car, things like that, go for the quickest one first and just eliminate it and go, yes, I now only have X amount left. I've paid off a debt, right? If you've got to do some balance transfers to pay off high interest rate credit card debt and go from a high interest rate credit card to a 0% APR for like 18 months credit card, so you can just crank that thing down and get those debt to income ratios knocked down and more in alignment, that's going to put you far, exceedingly far above everyone else. And so when nobody else can afford a mortgage, but it's because they can't get a mortgage because the banks aren't going to give it to them, even though interest rates are collapsing. I've done this twice after the '08 crash and after the 2000 and 2001 crash, the dot-com crash. Interest rates are falling just to spur lending, but nobody could qualify. So I'm buying homes, and as they go down, I'm refinancing, pulling money out, buying more homes. I made so much money and I want you to make so much money, but you've got to get to the first point. And if you've never bought a home before, this is going to be the most amazing time for you, because if you have your personal balance sheet set up, you walk in and you've got that stack of documents that are required and everything's done. And you've got the checklist and you're like, boom, give me your best rate. And then I'm going to go to the next one. You give me your best rate. And then you go give me your best rate. And you're going to find out, holy cow, the difference between those 3 banks is like $5,000 in savings for me and like $15,000 in savings and interest over the next 2 years, 3 years. You're going to be so ready for this. You're going to have so much confidence. You're going to laugh at anyone that goes, I can't believe you're buying a house. Because I got laughed at like crazy. Can't believe you're buying a house in the year 2000. Are you nuts? The economy's crashing and interest rates are going down. I'm like, don't worry. Don't you worry about me. I got this. And I want to teach that to all of you. So if you got something out of this and this inspired you, do me a favor and type letter 7 or number 7 and just let me know that it inspired you. If you want to go deeper into this, I've got the courses. I teach people how to do this. And for the cost of the course, I'm going to be honest with you, it's the no-brainer deal. I laugh at the idea that you take this course and you're not going to save 5 to 10 times the amount of the course on the next purchase or refinance of your home or your first home or anything. It's a joke. It's pre-filming discount. It's down below. There's 2 days left. Actually, there's less than 2 days because it ends tomorrow. So at some point tomorrow. I hope you guys have a great day. Real Estate Ninja is out.